Hey folks, we're going to try something a little bit different this week for movie reviews. I'm actually going to use a camera, upload it to YouTube, and just see how this works out. If it's received positively, then it's something I may continue to do going forward. As you can see, this week I'm going to review Pacific Rim. This was a review I'd promised for some time, and it's time that I get to it. Instead of writing it out, I'm going to try this different format. Well, first of all, I would say you have to be part of the target audience for this movie to really enjoy it. Even though my mother enjoyed it, which was kind of a surprise to me. But I guess it had enough action to keep her interest. But I would say it's mainly written and directed and done for the ages of 35 to 45. Those of us who grew up with things like Godzilla, Ultraman, the Shogun Warriors, and Gundam. Huge robots, huge monsters attacking cities and fighting. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. We all did it with little action figures when we were kids, and this is that movie brought to life. Guillermo del Toro, who you might know from movies such as Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, as well as Blade 2, said this is a movie he's wanted to make since he was 10 years old, and it definitely shows in the way he's taken care in this movie. It stars some not so big stars, but some people you might recognize. There's Charlie Hunnam. He's from Sons of Anarchy, a show that's about bikers that you might watch. It's got Rinko Kikuchi, who's from the movie Babel back in 2006, which you might have seen with Brad Pitt. She's one of only 5 actresses that have been nominated for an Academy Award that hasn't spoken a word in the movie. So that's kind of interesting, and she does a great job in the movie. There's Charlie Day and Ron Perlman, who are a little bit of comic relief throughout. Ron Perlman, who you also know as maybe Hellboy, also on Sons of Anarchy, and he was also Vincent in Beauty and the Beast, if you remember that, way back in the, what is it, late 90s, possibly. So if you're familiar with that show, you know who Ron Perlman is. The movie is action, straight out action. There's not a lot of plot involved. The plot is giant monsters that are coming through a rift in the Pacific Ocean. They're basically aliens or that are working towards basically wiping out humanity. That's all you need to know about them. And we decided to build some huge robots to basically take them out. We find out this is pretty effective until we notice that these monsters are getting bigger and bigger, and we're running out of these huge robots that are called Jaegers. The monsters are called kaiju, by the way, and anyone who's familiar with the old men in suits tearing up cities, they were always called kaijus in those movies as well, like Godzilla and Mothra and such. Now the movie itself is outstanding. The effects are great. It's everything that you want from a giant robot beating up giant monster movie. It's everything that you wanted from the Transformers as well, that you didn't get. These giant robots are very clear. The details are good. It doesn't beat around the bush with a bunch of silliness like the Transformers did, and a bunch of off humor. It takes itself seriously, but not too seriously. You can't take yourself too seriously with lines like, "Today we are canceling the apocalypse." You might have seen that from the trailer. It does a good job of fulfilling what it's supposed to. One of the things I do when I review movies is review it for what it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be the next great Oscar winner, or is it supposed to be a movie that entertains us for 2 hours? This is an entertainment movie, and it certainly entertained me for 2 hours. The music was sufficiently pumping to get you fired up, and the plot made no excuses about what it was trying to do and being straightforward. It did have a moment of cliche reluctant hero, but it took care of that in about 30 seconds, which I was glad to see. Love story was kept at a minimum. It was there, but it did not overshadow the movie whatsoever. And I would give this a very high recommendation to see. It's exactly what you're going to want from a movie like this. Um, if you have any questions, please ask in the comments, and I'll let you know any specifics that you'd like to about the movie without trying to spoil too much for you. Thanks for watching the review, and let me know how this goes, and it may continue this format. Thanks.